So this is going to be one of the last times that you see me in this basement with the shelves behind me, because I believe I am selling them as we are moving out of this house. It's not for about a month, but we're packing shit up. So you may see videos in the future without my shelves. So there's that. So what I'm going to talk about today is the series that I plan on finishing this year, that I'm absolutely setting a goal and want to finish in 2021. Before I get to that, I had some book mail in which authors have sent me a few things. One was totally unexpected, and the other one I had been talking with the authors about it. So first up is Mark Montanaro and his debut novel, The Magic Fix. Now this, I don't know what to expect. This is his first novel he sent me. Totally unexpected. Sent me a note saying, hey, I hope you read this. Give it a chance if you want to. So I'm going to talk about it here. I have not read it yet, but I read the first chapter, and it reminded me sort of Terry Pratchett in a way. So when I read Mort, I laughed a lot, and I feel like he's kind of going for the same vibe here, where it's full of humor, because the dialogue in chapter 1 of this book was hilarious. And funny enough, the about page is great, because I love this guy's sense of humor already, where he's talking about Mark has always been a man of many talents. He can count with both hands, get 5-letter words on countdown, and once solved a Rubik's Cube in 5 days, 13 hours, and 59 minutes. His creativity started at an early age, when he invented plenty of imaginary friends, and even more imaginary girlfriends. So I'm getting a strong comedic vibe from this author. And like I said, after reading the first chapter of it, just to give it a feel, I think it's going to make me laugh a lot. It seems like a not taken very seriously fantasy story, which is going to be great to read. So I will definitely read this at some point this year, because if an author sends me something, I'm going to read it, and I'm going to talk about it. And then, of course, next up is the book that I had spoken with the authors about recently, and finally got to my P.O. box to get it, which is a sci-fi story. This is their first published novel. It is a couple who put out this debut novel as their entry into the world of writing. And it is Matt Digman and Ryan Roddy, The Dark That Dwells. So this is a sci-fi story, but I believe it's blended with fantasy. And the way that it's set up, there are 4 main POVs. They actually sent me some sort of like stickers or decals that go kind of like with their main characters. And it sounds like a pretty cool sci-fi fantasy blend, almost like a D&D campaign, the way it's structured, the way the characters are made. There you go. There's a bookmark for it. So this is 7/10/2020. So this came out last year, but they were awesome enough to sign it and send it to me, which is super cool. There you go. There we go. So I am definitely going to read this year as well. I like supporting, debut novels and authors just putting themselves out there and willing to send you a book that in the hopes that you talk about it. So I'll absolutely be covering this year. And now I have another awesome bookmark to go with it. So keeping with the theme of things that I'm going to read this year and series that I'm going to wrap up, I'm going to start that off with what's behind me, which is Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne. Now, my original intent was to read Ruin in December and then read Wrath in January. That obviously did not work out because I fit in the Dragon Republic, which I'm very happy about. So I'm reading Ruin this month, right after I finish The Burning God. But Faithful and the Fallen by John Gwynne is a fantastic epic fantasy that really does not bog you down with a lot of the description and nonsense of some of epic fantasy tales that you've read before. His action is fantastic. His character work is great. I'd say one of his weak points, at least in book 1, was character description, where you almost don't know what anybody looks like because he doesn't tell you. You start to learn more about it in Valor, and I've heard from basically everybody that Ruin is the best of the four, but Wrath is also incredible. So I'm getting to Ruin in the next day or two, and I'm fully expecting to love that. That'll probably go down as one of my best reads of 2021. And then Wrath next month will also follow right behind it, and I will have wrapped up The Burning God, which is book 3 of the Poppy War. That series will be under my belt, and Faithful in the Fallen I will have finished next month as well. Just John Gwynne quickly became one of my favorite authors that I read last year, just from books 1 and 2. And I've heard of Blood and Bone, which is the second sequel in this world, set further in the future, is also excellent. And of course, The Shadow of the Gods is coming out later this year, which I want to get to as well. I don't know if that's going to tie in at all to either of these, but I want to pick that up as soon as it comes out as well, because I love this guy's writing. He comes very highly recommended from everybody that I respect. Petrick raves about it. He just did a cover reveal for The Shadow of the Gods. It looks absolutely incredible, so I can't wait to get to that. But Faithful in the Fallen absolutely is going to be something that I finish this year. Next up on my to be finished in 2021 is going to be the Farseer Trilogy by Robin Hobb. Now, the reason you have not seen a review of Assassin's Apprentice is because I read this book over a year ago. This was the first thing that I read after coming back to reading after nearly a decade. And I honestly, well, one, I didn't have a channel then. And two, by the time that I wanted to talk about it, I had already forgotten about it. Now, I did not think that I was going to do the book justice by talking about it then. So yeah, January, I read it early January. So literally a year ago. I didn't think I could do the book justice. And honestly, coming back after 10 years of not reading anything and going straight into Robin Hobb's very purple prose, flowery text, going into an assassin story that wasn't what I was expecting, I don't think that I gave it a fair shot. And I appreciated a lot of what it had to offer, but I don't honestly think I gave it the time or attention that it needed. So I'm getting back to this, and I'm going to finish the Farseer Trilogy. And there is a reason for that. And that would be these bad boys. So I finally picked up the illustrated editions, which are gorgeous. And the third one comes out in a couple months, May of this year, maybe. So I fully expect to be getting to this year. I'm going to buy that as soon as it comes out, because the illustrated editions were basically my excuse to get back to it. And this will be one of the first rereads that I do, because I know that I'm in a better place with fantasy and reading right now, that I want to read these, and I want to give Assassin's Apprentice another shot. The third series that I plan to finish in 2021, assuming that book 3 does come out, Brian Lee Durfee, if you have available copies early, let your man know. But the Lonesome Crown I'm looking forward to this year. I read The Forgetting Moon at the tail end of 2020, and it was fantastic. It was barely just outside my top 5 reads of the second half of last year. It was mostly due to the fact that I hadn't finished it yet, but this is epic fantasy in every sense of the word. The characters are fantastic. This is like a John Gwynne novel with more description. It's absolutely brutal. Character work is great. Description levels, fantastic. Liz Hen, fantastic. Janko is a bastard and I hate him, but he's a fantastic character. I'm saying fantastic a lot. I'm going to stop doing that. Jandra Lynn was great. Shawcroft was interesting. Nail was probably the least interesting of most of them, outside of Tala maybe. But all the characters in this are honestly pretty great. Galt was great as well. This was a violent world. It's very medieval in its feel. There's not a lot of magic. And I feel like this was a fantastic foundational piece to the story. And everybody in my Discord that has read Onto the Blackest Heart absolutely rave about it. So I can't wait to continue the story and get to the Lonesome Crown when that comes out. And again, I'm gonna show this again because why wouldn't I? He signed it and sent it to me. Just look at that fucking signature. Now there's some other things that may or may not happen. Red Rising, if book 6 does come out this year, that is absolutely a day one buy and binge that I'm planning on doing if it happens. I don't know if it's going to come out this year. Song of Ice and Fire, Winds is not coming out this year, so I'm not worried about that. It's not even the last book. Dune, I might finish this year. I'm going to be working in a sci-fi book every month, starting next month. And 5 of those might be the Dune saga. At least the Frank Herbert Dune. I might go books 2 to 6 this year. Stay tuned for that. But the last and final and most epic and most time-consuming of them all, which I have neglected, unfortunately, for several months, to my own detriment and the shit-talking of many internet personas, The Wheel of Time. So I'm not going to hold up The Wheel of Time because there's a lot of books, and I own them all in hardcover now. I'm going to go ahead and do one of these. Are you ready? Let's go over here to these hardcovers here. Focus in on that. So I have everything in hardcover. And I have been meaning to get back to Lord of Chaos for months. So that is what I'm starting in February. I also, because I'm a psycho, I own up to Lord of Chaos in the trade paperbacks, which I may or may not collect the whole series in. I don't know yet. We'll see. In business. Wheel of Time is fantastic. I've honestly really loved it up until book 5. I loved parts of book 5. I didn't love all of it. There was a lot of shit in there that I didn't care about. Let's focus back on me, please. Thank you, camera. But I have committed to, I am going to read at least one Wheel of Time book per month, and I'm going to finish the series. So starting in February through December, I will read from book 6 all the way to the end. I will also read New Spring. This entire series will be in the bag in 2021. You can hold me to that. Beyond anything else, that is absolutely what I will finish. I'm also reading Malazan. I'm not finishing Malazan this year. That's crazy. But Wheel of Time, absolutely. And hopefully I will be, well, I'm already 5 books in, so I'm probably beyond whatever they'll cover in the show when it does come out. But I am hoping to have the entire series, no, not even hoping, not hoping. I will have the entire series done by the end of 2021. So those are the series that I am absolutely going to finish this year. So once again, that is Faithful and the Fallen. I will have just finished the Poppy War. I'm going to finish Farseer. I'm going to finish Wheel of Time. I'm going to finish The 5 Warrior Angels by Brian Lee Durfee, assuming that The Lonesome Crown comes out this year. That is going to do it for the books that I am absolutely going to finish in 2021. The series that I'm going to wrap up in this year of 2021. So, like and subscribe. As always, do hit up Patreon if you want to support the channel financially. That is, of course, always optional, but always greatly appreciated. We have a good, healthy Patreon membership going, and I am starting to do buddy reads. So if you are a high-tier patron at the Howler level, that is going to have you influence directly my TBR, which has you kind of vote and pick on a book that I'm going to read every other month. And I'm also starting to do buddy reads. So what I'm doing there is I'm getting patrons involved in picking buddy reads. So it's going to be, again, another book that I read that month, but also a buddy read. So we're all talking about it. We're all discussing it in Discord on here on YouTube, which it looks like Leviathan Wakes is going to win next month. So I'm going to be starting The Blade itself and First Law next month, as well as Leviathan Wakes and The Expanse. So more series, more long series to get into because I'm a psycho. But that's what you're here for, right? So that is what I am planning on 2021. What are you planning for 2021? What series or books are you absolutely going to finish? Which ones do you have to get through in your own opinion? Obviously, none of these have to get done, but this is kind of the goal that I'm setting for myself. So that is what I'm doing. So drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on if you actually think I'm going to get through these, which I've been known to take some shade every once in a while. on not finishing the Wheel of Time. So that's happening. But let me know your thoughts down below. Jump in Discord if you want to continue the conversation. And until next time, keep reading.